Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. I unfortunately went and killed the previous stream, so the next race for Monday Night Racing is Kyalami. So I think I may need to quit here and get us into the server to have a look at the quali times. Well, the quali at least. Let us get in there. It's a lovely track, this one.
Green light, go, go, go.
Of course, it's right in our backyard. Hopefully we get the other Francis family member back in here for this iconic evening.
Green light, show them what you got.
Get some full representation. As we see all these wonderful Porsches going out there again. Let's, if I return to garage, at least I can click on people. And there we have T. Francis back with us. Taryn, I believe. Yeah, got that one right. Not Taryn Mijos, no. Have no clue what his or her name is. Just Mijos. Mijos? Is that... I don't want to take a guess. I might land up insulting someone unintentionally. As we see old JT back in his familiar vehicle again. Same number, different car. Same but different. Kyalami is a track that we had to put a lot of laps into. It's one of the tracks that they was used to do the grouping for the divisional grouping for Raceface. Something that happens on Thursday nights, the GT3 League. So anyone that does Raceface should know this track very well, because we had to do it many times to try and get the right time to obviously get in your respective division. Now I know I don't want to lie, what is the real record? But I mean, we've got guys that fly around here in 140. And I think the true record on this track is like a 143 of GT3 on Kyalami. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Google needs to learn to play nicer, or I need to learn how to ask better questions. Either which way, it's not giving me an immediate response or answer. But it is around the 140, 142, 143 mark. So let's see what times these guys will end up putting in today. They're still doing a bit of free practice, getting used to the track. I'm pretty sure JT is going to be happy about that. Having to now switch back from the Porsche. Although for me, to be honest, JT, I don't know. They both feel the same for me. They both slip slide all over the place, so clearly for you the one slip slides less than the other. Labuskachny putting in a 146. I can guarantee you the guys are going to put in a couple of quicker laps than that. I'm pretty sure we will see at least a 145. I don't know if I'll put any bets on a 144. Not that I'm a betting man. Betting's a risky business. I try and avoid risky business. Gleed in the McLaren. Oh, and we have a black Ferrari. That is unfortunately, where is he? Because he is that completely black? Yeah, unfortunately he's using a livery that I do not have. Sorry about that. I'm sure it must look awesome. But for now, it's just a black car with some stickers on. Assenville in the 627. Mr. Hards in his familiar Nissan. Now that car can be wild when it wants to be. Not necessarily because of the driver, but I find those Nissans are generally problematic to pass. With again Mr. JT in his Aston. Mr. Otto in his Aston. Unfortunately also again another livery that I don't have. Apologies for that. Beetle, Simtech Racing. Oh, and we have a slight bit a spin there. Was that Mr. 69? Yeah, that's it. Hit the options button. Go to pits. Sim Racing allows you to do that. Don't have to call in that car. Now this last, oh, and as I mentioned it, that last little sausage bump will do just that to you. Oh, especially in that Audi. That Audi don't like bumps, ne? Don't like bumps. And that last little sausage curb is tricky. Trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. Oh, Eddie in his familiar gold colors. Great stuff. I'm sure you'll be keeping a watchful eye there. T. Buerta. A name that we also see in Raceface. In fact, I think that is the exact Merc I landed up hitting quite a few times last week, unintentionally, Mr. Buerta. Oh, just struggling to keep it on the tracks there. Unfortunately, him and I ended up seeing each other quite a number of times on the track. That was Monza, of course. The track you would rather prefer to avoid if you want to keep your SA rating intact. And there we go, we have Beetle doing a 143. So 15 minutes practice, started at whenever that clock said. I can't, it seems like it's the wrong time. So the guys are warming up quite nicely, getting into some reasonable times. 143s, below, so below 145s. Thank goodness I did not bet. Told you it's a risky business. I prefer educated guesses. Seems like T. Francis decided to call it a day. Should never give up. Never say die. Tell you, this is probably one of the toughest as a first-person shooter player. Coming into racing was a learning curve of note. I think I spent most of my weekends in this racing seat, built myself a nice little rig, because that's just how you roll if you want to, if you really want to get the experience with sim racing. In fact, I'm sitting in the rig as we speak, because it gives me the right number of monitors. So it's a different reason for using the rig, not quite as intended, but I suppose it's the participation that counts. But it is tough. You just need to keep at it. Once you start having battles and going flat tacky side to side with a car in a corner, it's gets interesting. It gets interesting. So once the practice is over, we'll obviously jump through to quali. Get a few laps in, hopefully some lap times, hopefully a replica of some of the lap times we're seeing here. JT coming in at a... My maths will probably fail me here now, but roughly around about a 146 there, yeah. So I think a little bit of work to do for him. I know he can do quicker. I suppose he just needs to stay on the track, then that would also help. Definitely much better traction on the tar than on the grass. As fun as grass is, for racing, you want to stay on the tar. You know, I can't wait for the day that I can bring up my HUD. I'm going to feel like such a ninja. For sure. Bigger HUD. No, not a bigger HUD. Just a HUD to start with. I wonder if it isn't possibly a setting somewhere in the JSON file. Well, it doesn't really give me much. Server. Dedicated server GUI folder, which is absolutely blank. I think that was the old one. I believe that was the old one. So before jumping over, let's see who else we can keep an eye on during practice. Why did I... Mr. Erasmus from Team Try Hard Racing. Definitely going to be warming himself up for Thursday night. Team Try Hard, one of the teams that competes in the Race Face League. So we should see something coming out of this man this evening. Although this is also a nice practice arena, nice and casual, gets you warmed up for Thursday nights. Well, I'm going to take this opportunity before we jump into quali to go and get myself a coffee because that's what I live on. And it's already been over half an hour, and I haven't had any, which is devastating. So I shall be back momentarily. There we go. Back with coffee in hand. Hopefully we haven't been watching Mr. Erasmus for too long in the pits. I think he's decided he's going to keep it at that time. Oh, we're not even in the quali yet, so all good. All good in the hood. Oh, watch out the sausage curve, buddy. Takes it nice and wide. Make sure you goes way clear of it. Also a little corner that you have to go wide and come in, so you can get that exit speed coming out to this first straight. Very important to try and get squeeze those milliseconds as you come up to the first bend. Every millisecond counts. What starts off as a millisecond at the early part of that straight turns out to be a little bit later. You just need to get your acceleration going sooner. And Kyalami have got some interesting little curves as we follow B-Till. We'll take you through one of the more interesting blind horizons. Not something I think I'll have full confidence in doing in an actual car, unless I'm planning on launching myself to space. As you come through, oh, and there's a little Audi going out there. So as you come up here, there's a little booth on the left, which is most people's marker. I tend to use the bottom of that billboard there. It just seems to work for me. Although I say that, there's lots of time I can shave off this track. I think the my best on here was, I don't want to lie, it's either 143.6 something. Yeah, it sounds, or 143.1. Somewhere around there. Oh, let's just watch out the sausage curb. Keep away from it, it's not fun. Again, a leaderboard would be fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Right, so as they go off to driver's briefing, they shall be there for a few moments as they get asked to behave themselves on the track, not be too naughty, take corner 1 easy, take lap 1 easy. I hope it is notifying them that they're being watched closely, real time. No time for post-race incidents. We'll just start handing out dishing out penalties real time, I think. We'll just pass on the notes to Eddie and the crew. Mr. Buerta, I wish you luck. As a comrade from a previous race, I think we had enough huggy moments on the track to call each other friends. You know, it's a couple of fairings between friends, a couple of spoilers. See, the only leaderboard that you can bring up through F2 tends to not give you any data. And it's upside down. That doesn't work too well. Definitely don't want to be changing engine mappings of my rig that's not going anywhere. Or traction control, for that matter. There it is. Insert. Also not too sure why my wheel is not... okay, well that's fine. So button 8. Whichever one that is. I'll also be fidgeting with some of the buttons on my steering wheel, hopefully not creating too much chaos, but I believe it might be that MFD option. Okay, so off they go, starting with quali. Number 207, out first. No, it's definitely not out first. Number 69 is. Either I'm confused or it's confused. Well, then again, I suppose is this isn't showing position on the track, so my little blonde moment. So keep an eye on JT. He's just chilling. He's just chilling. Possibly heard me, not sure. Not far behind him is Eddie. Also giving him a bit of a flash there, is he? Or is that automatic? Pretty sure JT knows that Eddie is behind him. Can't miss that gold Porsche. They've also had a couple of moments out on track. Bit of camaraderie there. See, I don't think that cycling my MFD, which is multifunction display, is going to give me what I want. And the insert button is not working. Yeah, you see, for setting up your broadcasting app also doesn't really... The toolbar is always visible. You can use it to hide or unhide the panels. See, the broadcasting option doesn't work too well either.
Give it all you can.
So there we're on the broadcasting, but there's no leaderboard. Give me my leaderboard. The hack for the moment is, of course, doing that. See the guys, no time's been put in yet. We've got 6.5 minutes remaining. Hopefully they can get in a couple of good laps. Get those tyres nice and warm. Miss those sausage curbs. found an answer. But that means I need to go scurry to my config files. And hopefully not have to restart. As we see some times come in, and Mr. Van Heerden putting in quickest there with the 1:43.158. Right behind him, number 69, right on his heels. And Heidelbrandt in 207 Porsche, coming at third at the moment with 4 minutes to go. JT coming in sixth, putting in a reasonable time there. A 1:45, although we know we can go a bit quicker. I think if he had to push it, he could take that fifth spot, unless Nieuwenhuisen has other ideas. Seems to have taken that one quite nicely. Just be careful of that sausage. Oh, going out a little bit wide. I think that will definitely impact his time. Don't know what he was looking like before, but oh, he actually squeezed it in. So I think he could have actually snuck it in quite nicely. Although I don't think he would have gained on Labuskachny. I don't think that little grass dip would have affected him that much. So. Possibly lucky to have gotten into that third spot against in front of our 207 Porsche, Heidelbrandt. Hildebrand. My apologies. That's what happens when you skim through names at a pace. So we have 20 on the grid. Otto right at the back saying he's happy to just chillax and pull in from the rear. No pun intended. Hards in his Nissan. That's not the one I'm looking for. Did I just find my... Oh wow. Okay. 30 seconds to go, and I think we'll probably see a settling of what this starting grid looks like. JT coming in at 10th. Okay, he's sitting with Eddie right behind him. I think he decided to let's get back there, give Eddie some space. He decides to do the same for Hards as he plows a bit of grass. Kindly waiting for everyone to come through. 1:59. I don't think he's going to be able to get another lap time in there. And I think the pole is settled. Van Heerden, Labuskachny, Erasmus from Team Tryhard. Nieuwenhuisen possibly trying to squeeze in a third spot, although he's coasting way too slowly for anyone trying to achieve anything great. And I think that is where it will be settled. T. Francis giving it a go. Oh, sliding out slightly. Is tough. Is tough. Just keep at it. I know you probably want to swear at the car, and you probably are going to plenty in the future. Not a problem. It gets better, I promise. So learning on the fly as we go. This broadcasting app structure has completely changed. This is an FYI for those interested. So, and this is obviously a part of an update that recently came out. So we shall continue trying to find this leaderboard, shall we not? We shall. We shall. So good luck to all the racers. Hopefully we have a nice clean race as we had in the first. Although I say that, we might have had a number of off-camera shenanigans. Who knows? We shall find out with the revealing of the next penalty points scorecard. You definitely won't be seeing who's leading the league, because now the points are tallied, of course. This is just for fun, community racing, put together by a spectacular bunch of gentlemen. Also spend their time again, as I said, reviewing incidents, helping those that have logged incidents to understand, some racing etiquette, how and when to be aggressive. It's a learning curve of note. There we go, as we see the server now getting ready to push forward. We should see ourselves getting onto the grid momentarily. I think what we should do as part of this exercise. Now we have 26. We had 20, or was I mistaken? Did we have some late joiners here? I'm going to be sneaky. I'm taking a screenshot of these names and numbers. So at least I have those present next to me. The leaderboard doesn't want to come to me. I will take the leaderboard with me. At least I can reference some names from that. It's a good start. Not sure why the server is struggling to forward. Eddie posting that note. I'm not surprised with all the updates recently that we're going to find some technical difficulties. One thing is for sure, this test client.exe is not where it used to be. It has left the building. Not quite sure how you're supposed to launch this thing. Eddie saying not a great night. It is unfortunate. We do see this though. Changes and updates. Changes the expected behavior, the normal behavior that you're used to. Eddie gonna give a quick restart. I'm sure some wouldn't mind getting a few more laps in. Some more chances to get some get closer to pole. That's not a problem, Eddie. We are here for you. We are here for the races. And we're here for a good time. So if we need to restart, then let's give it horns. Has he restarted? Not restarting? No? Oh dear. I think we saw some races dropping out, unfortunately. 9 of them, it seems, to be exact. I think that might be unfortunate for some people. Luckily it's not full, they can come back in. Chop chop. I think they might unfortunately find themselves in the pits for a short bit. It is rather exciting trying to chase down the pack from the back. Unfortunately, in my scenario, if I'm at the back, I'm just trying to stay out the way of people overtaking me. That's normally par for the course.
Seconds.
30 seconds before kickoff.
Seconds. 10 seconds.
I think let's track with our representative, Mr. Labuschagne, as we go through this first bend. Lovely view, there we go. Giving a bit of a flash. Not sure if he's telling the guy in front of him to go already or if you heard his name. A little bit early on the lights there. As the guys take it easy through the first lap again. Get those tyres nice and warm. Mr. Erasmus in his number 713 Porsche. A little bit of ghosting, don't worry folks, that's not going to continue in the race. On the first lap, you can go through each other. What you can't do is go through walls, of course. All other physics applies, other than cars. Eddie getting himself a position in the top 10 there. Don't know if he sneakily told everyone that's going to restart so people can disappear out of the top 10. I wasn't sure, I wasn't paying attention. Well, in fact, I did take a photo. No, that was a hard fought for position from my admin. May he have a good race. JT getting those tyres warm. Some of the other Porsches on the track tonight. Dassenville? I'm not sure. Something along those lines. Apologies if I got that one horribly wrong. Colours of the two Porsches fairly similar. If you had a look pretty quick, you wouldn't tell the difference. Logitech sitting on the back of the number 627. Charis would be proud. Ferrari ghosting straight through that Porsche there, and all the others, trying to get himself back into position as we start getting ready for the start of the race. Come around the last little section here. Last little stretch for the guys to warm up their tyres. Mr. Labuskachny deciding to get the front ones a little bit warmer as quickly as possible. So let's keep it on Mr. Van Heerden, because as it starts, I believe this HUD is going to disappear in all its glory. I wouldn't mind if it stayed. And there it stays. Fantastic. I think we'll keep that up here. To get on to the first bend, guys are fairly wide across the track. Beetle taking it nice and tight on the inside, probably anticipating some traffic on the outside. Mr. Van Heerden deciding he's going to slow down the pack slightly. I don't know, maybe give himself some room to launch an attack on the back of Mr. Till. Oh, already have someone out on the on that first bend, sitting in the sand, making some castles. We have JT just on the tail of Eddie, keeping a close eye. As we have Otto going a little bit wide there on that previous corner. Slight little slips on this track can cause some havoc for your time. So I think we'll leave this this leaderboard up. At least we can switch between it. I know the message board is there, but I don't want to lose the ability to at least chop and change between some of the guys. I might dare move it just now. Who knows? We had to figure this out, right? That's right. Okay, let's make sure you stay clear of that sausage curb. Nicely done there by Eddie and JT, both of them avoiding that first little sausage curb. Also very difficult to get you. The guys trying to find their right line there, correcting themselves mid-flight. Also a bit of a time buster. Bit of a tricky corner, that one. There is no, you get some corners where there just aren't easy markers to follow. They're a little bit fuzzy and hazy, well, for me at least. Quite difficult to get the perfect mark at some of the speeds that you're going at. And all the other factors you're trying to consider. Like an Aston coming up behind you, making a nuisance of itself. So Van Heerden through, coming in for second lap as Beetle takes it wide there. Have the leaders coming down the first stretch. Going into the first corner. Just keeping each other in check. So we have Mr. Levenayson sitting in 5th spot. I think this is, if we have to look at the track map on the bottom right, we have a couple of, 2 or 3 separate worms forming. I think there's a bit of gap between Levenayson and obviously Porsche number 627. Nice healthy little gap. So I think we may see something out. Oh, Nevenhuizen and Erasmus taking, going past Beetle. One slight little mistake, and that's what happens. Especially trying to keep it together in the front. Beetle decides he's going to go back into 5th position. Check it out from there. Sure, he's going to want to try and make some time up, close that gap a bit. Just don't be too over hasty. Don't want to hit the sausage curb. Nicely taken. If you start pushing yourself, you might find yourself trying to cut corners a little bit early in positions where you don't want to, and then you get introduced to a sausage curb. So let's see how is our number 7 doing. Sitting in position number 16. Take it nice and easy. Some tricky corners here. This one is a toughie. This one is a toughie. And she clears it. Nicely done. Nice control. There we go. Nicely through. More practice. She'll get a handle for the car. We should see those lap times start dropping and becoming more consistent. Otto, unfortunately, in a livery that I do not have. Apologies for that. But I'm sure it does look nice. Having a quick look at the front here. We now have Van Heerden closely chased by Labuschagne. Top 4 still looking fairly familiar. Labuschagne, Erasmus, Nevenhuizen. Beetle seems to have taken his foot off the gas a bit, I'm not sure. Trying to gain up a bit of speed again. I'm not sure if he's got some damage of some sort. It seems like he's falling back a fair amount. Ali's sitting in the middle here. BMW number 35. nicely taken through. Just seem to think there's a lot that they're leaving out on the track. Is Ali's going to try and take a move? No, he doesn't have to. He'll just let the Porsche kindly go play on the grass so that he can come past. Also allowing De Kock from Simtech Racing to come through. It is number 23 Audi. Of course, the Simtech Racing guys seem to love their Audis. Not sure if something that they do for a living. Tuning Audis as we have a look at JT. Closely followed by Mijos in number 52. Oh, he's going to try and squeeze the corner, or is he just teasing fate? I think he was hoping to be able to break in that little zone there, keep it on the inside, push JT outside of his line. But I think JT will probably focus on making that rear end as wide as possible at this stage. I don't see any blue flags up and going, so I think he'll continue pushing. Otto leaving himself plenty room, not pushing quite to the max, but making sure that it's nice and safe through those corners. As we go check in on Mr. Francis, see how he's coming along. Sitting in 10th position. Oh, Borrell just deciding to check the sand there. Maybe he went to go look for his golf ball there in the sand trap. So no matter how much fairway there is, sand trap is where the ball always lands up, right? Par for the course. Not much of a gap between Van Heerden and Labuschagne. 2.121 seconds. 2.074 seconds. So a slight gain. With Erasmus close in third. Labuschagne would probably want to try and keep all his tyres on the track. Losing those precious little split seconds can be costly. As we have 18 minutes and 20 seconds to go, getting closer to that halfway mark. Nice and tidy all the way around the track. Lots of respect between the races. No major argy-bargy. To the extent I'm wondering if Eddie gave a forewarning that they are going to be screened. Bit of live streaming this evening, which isn't necessarily the norm. Although the AM servers, I've even in the... Oh, dearie me, Van Heerden doing a slide out. That is going to lose him 3 positions as he drops from first down to fourth. man, he's got to get that car turned around quick, and this is such a difficult situation. Luckily 35 is a fair distance behind him, so you can probably open up that gap again. Consistency is key, and unfortunately that has cost him. That has cost him. He's got some ground to make up now. Trying to get a car turned around is a difficult job. Difficult job, as he is now 11 seconds behind Nivenason. I mean, that is a dramatic drop from being in the lead. All from one slide. As Labuskachny, our representative here in the pink Ferrari, takes the lead. I'm sure it want to hold it. Consistency is key in this game. Consistency is key. Being a 30-minute race, there's obviously no real pit stop strategies for fueling, and there's no mandatory pit stops for changing tires. So racers just need to make sure that they put enough fuel in, and let me tell you, that is also a bit of an art and a science. It's not set and dry. The battle between these three are going to be interesting right the way through, I think. Let's see who can hold on the longest. As we watch Erasmus from his bonnet, sniffing the fumes of the Ferrari in front of him. Oh, the Ferrari decides he's not going to help him with his line. He's going to confuse him somewhat. Is he playing games? Who knows? Some interesting break points here for Mr. Labuskachny. Is Erasmus really going to push on the inside? No, I think he realized that's not a good move. As he takes through the corner. Oh, and do we have a little bit of a sneaky there by Nivenhuizen pulling past on the inside? I think we just did. I think we just did. Team try hard and succeeded. Right through the gap. Nicely done there, Mr. Nivenhuizen. I think we'll probably continue seeing some battles there up front, but let's go see elsewhere what is happening. Let's possibly go and check in with old Eddie. Still taking it easy there. In top 10, that's fantastic to see. Just maintain that. Keep it nice and consistent. B. Till now sitting at 10th. He took that little opportunity there. Or was that a back marker? Not sure. No, that was... he's sitting in 9th. I think this leaderboard is... obviously still accurate in terms of the positioning of the people in the track. Once we start getting situations where cars are getting overlapped, then that starts becoming a little bit more tricky to try and read that leaderboard. Then you need to try and pick up the car numbers on the top of the windshield. That of course gives you the position that they're in. But you have to have quick eyes and zoom in at the right moments. Otherwise it can get tricky. Let's have a look at T. Francis, sitting in 16th position. S. Hard's a couple of laps behind that. Nicely done. Keep that position. Most important is to finish the race. As we have Van Heerden coming in from behind. Is that... no, it's not. It is... no. That... is Van Heerden, I'm sure. Yes. So where? Okay, I'm with you. So, We have T. Francis sitting between Van Heerden and the leaders. She mustn't feel pressured. She just take it easy. He will take the inside, not a problem. You just stick to your line and lets him through nicely. Way to go. Nicely done as she gets more familiar with the track, taking those corners a little bit cleaner. Nothing but up from here. Tell you, that's a lot cleaner than I will take at 90% of the time. Coming down with some blistering speed. Oh, overcooking it. That's okay. Just take it cautiously. Hold on to the brakes. That's okay. Get back on the track. Obviously, you've got to wait for the traffic. Once the traffic is passed, and off you go. Well, let's go and see what's happening in the front of the pack. We have Labuschagne still holding the leader position with Erasmus fairly close behind him. Not close enough, well, still close enough for a blue flag, I suppose. It's within that 1 second gap, not that he'll be blue flagged with number 2 behind him. But if you're racing and a quicker car comes behind you, as soon as he's within a second, you know that blue flag is going to come up. Without a doubt. With 10 minutes left on the clock, I think we're seeing the front here settling somewhat and a bit of gaps being created. Between Labuschagne and Erasmus, we're seeing at least basically a 1.5 second gap. Nieuwenhuizen sitting about 3 seconds behind him. So the little battle between the 4 up front seems to have cooled off somewhat. The Oaks are giving each other some space. Hopefully for a bit of a resurgence of a battle within the next couple of minutes. As the camera tries to track onto Eddie, holding his position. Oh, in fact, he's gained a position. Last time we were on him, he was on 8th, I believe. So slowly but surely working his way up. See, consistency is key. And keeping on the track is obviously priority number 1. As he comes through, nicely misses that little sausage curb, comes down into the final corner as he wants to get some nice acceleration out of here. He definitely doesn't want that Lamborghini to get a better acceleration point than he does. He'd like to keep him behind him as far as possible. Going through neatly in turn number 1, seemingly also leaving a little bit of space, leaving a little bit of track behind. I think if there's 2 sports you really want to use as much of the field or track as possible, it's golf and racing. In the case of golf, you obviously want to get your best value for your money, right? So why would you want to go and hit 72 shots when you can go and hit 110? 30% more value. Where's the problem? In racing, you want to obviously use as much of the track as possible, keeping that speed, maintaining good apexes and exits, as they say, your entrances into the into your corners and coming out at the right speed, giving yourself enough room to accelerate out of those corners. Finding those perfect spots is obviously what racing is all about. Being consistent on those spots is what being a champion is all about. So let's keep an eye on who will be doing that consistency best this evening. As we see JT sitting in 12th position. Car's looking slightly battered. He's chasing down Richards, this time not representing with the 420 number. Unfortunate. I'm sure he would have done much better if that 420 was slapped on the side of his car. As Van Heerden starts gaining again, catching up to Nieuwenhuisen, right on his tail. I think with Van Heerden coming at the back here, he's going to start pushing this little front guys back together. Could add some excitement. I'm sure he's not wanting to stay in his current position, and I'm pretty sure that Nieuwenhuisen and Erasmus wouldn't want him to get any closer. So let's hope with Van Heerden coming in at the back there, it's going to give us a nice little tight squeeze between the top four. Although there's a fair amount of space between Erasmus and Nieuwenhuisen, of course. Erasmus trying his best to make sure he stays close enough within that 1 second gap of Labuskachny. Hoping a blue flag is going to come out at some point, which unfortunately won't be the case in this scenario, but one can hope. And here we have a little bit of a contest for that inside corner. I think this time around Nieuwenhuisen is going to pull it on the inside, and did we just miss a touch? No. Nieuwenhuisen maintains his position. Van Heerden, of course, getting rather adamant that he would like that position for himself. As we come to quite a blind little horizon here, gear down into second, take this inside corner. Van Heerden seems to have taken, unfortunately, a little bit slower as Nieuwenhuisen pulls away from him, giving himself some room. Hopefully Van Heerden can make it through here in one piece. In a chasing situation, the sausage bump again can be your worst enemy. Oh, and Nieuwenhuisen takes it as I'm speaking about it. Unfortunate. See how deadly that thing is. Touch it and you lose place. As they both go slightly wide, but Van Heerden takes his third spot again. Fortunately, not much time to try and chase down Erasmus, sitting in second spot with basically a 4.7 second lag as the leaders come up to the tail enders. A bit of back markers. So this isn't cricket, this is racing, of course. Tail enders come in with pads on and a bat in hand. Labuskachny takes it nice and easy on the inside. Oh, touched. Hopefully it doesn't cause too much of an issue. Luckily Van Heerden number 2 survived that one. So we have P and A. P Van Heerden and A Van Heerden. Definitely not the competitor to C and A. Don't know if they're related. Could possibly be. Nieuwenhuizen sitting, of course, slightly behind Van Heerden, just within that 1 second mark. Coming again through the spot we had lost it. Are we going to see a reversal? Nope. Oh, unfortunately, Nieuwenhuizen clips it again. That's the problem. Once you clip it, you can't stop. It just becomes a magnet. Just becomes a magnet for those front tires. Oh, Eddie's sitting in his own little battle here with Beetle for 6th position. Beetle wanting that, hungry for that. Gonna keep teasing Eddie in his windows, in his mirrors for that, as he comes in on the outside, side by side. In the sausage curb corner, that's quite brave, must admit. Not something I would necessarily try. Eddie pulling out of that one nicely, leaving Beetle behind him, creating a bit of space. From being right on his butt to almost a second behind. That's some nice going there by Mr. Francis. As we go to his surname sake. Valiantly keeping her lines. Gaining that experience. Taking those corners nice and easy. Decided to do the safe route, just to make it through the race alive. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. The one that endures and is consistent gets position. Oh, and we see Erasmus in the front. I think we went and missed something. Labuskaghni way behind, so that must have been an unfortunate incident, probably a spin out of some sort. With Nieuwenhuizen right on him. And I'm sure the two of these aren't going to want to share third. Someone has to get second. As Erasmus gets himself a nice little healthy lead there from Team Tryhard Racing. Nieuwenhuizen staying close on Labuskaghni, checking to see if he can possibly squeeze something there in the last little moments. Erasmus just praying that he's going to keep it together on the last little stretch. Going to keep it safe. Going to take it home. As he comes through the last section. Labuskaghni and Nieuwenhuizen obviously not letting up. Don't know where to go. Whether I should watch Erasmus go over the finish line or watch the two of these battle it out in the last section. Oh, as they come into the last corners, Nieuwenhuizen decides to do a bit of a pass bump on the inside of Labuskaghni and says, this will be mine. Erasmus finishing first, Labuskaghni coming in third as Nieuwenhuizen overtakes him right at the end. As we take a look at Eddie coming in quite close on Beetle. De Coco finishing off in his Audi for some Tech Racing, coming in at 4th. Beetle in his Lamborghini for some Tech Racing, coming in at 5th. Eddie coming in for a spectacular number 6. Borrell a little slightly behind, but getting there, bringing the next Porsche over the line. Slightly more battered than Eddie's. Eddie's still looking immaculate with his golden shine. And then of course we have the remainder of the field. JT coming in at 10th. Finishing what is the final race for the evening. Nicely done. Some good racing, some good battles here and there. I think good racing overall, nice and clean. Unfortunate about the server problems, of course, but that is sports in general, I suppose, especially when it comes to technicalities of this nature, when we're trying to do racing over the internet, racing with software that gets updated and of course behaves differently. Hopefully everyone had a good evening, good race, and we will catch you in the next stint.